Hey everyone, Mike Fritz here with another short video. I'm pretty excited about today's topic because I think it's going to be a game changer in the performance management space that we all work in. And let me try and summarize. The developers at HighChart have added Jedox to a list of over 150 data sources that work with their performance visualization engine, and as well as a few of the front ends that we're all used to playing with, like Power BI and Qlik, etc. And the way they've done it is really exceptional, and I'm going to try and explain why I think it's a game changer.
So in this short 10-minute video, I'm going to try and do four things. First, I'm going to give you an overview of the whole high chart architecture, and that'll give you context for everything else. Then I'm going to very briefly talk about the vendor-induced data silos that we're all dealing with that then positions HighChart as a solution to overcome those data silos. And then I'm going to conclude with a short demo of the Jedox connector on how to connect to an OLAP database, so you can see me pulling the data in and preparing it for a report. And then I'm going to create a cross-regional report using that incoming data automatically driven, all in 10 minutes or less. So I better get going here. So I'm going to start with a very brief architectural overview of how HighChart plugs into your environment, and the key word being your environment. Very strong connectivity to whatever data sources that you want to work with, whether that's Excel and CSV files, whether that's connected into SAP BW, whether your source data comes from an OLAP system like TM1 or Jedox, whether you want to use the ODBC connector to pull it in from somewhere else. Don't forget your source data and where it's coming from when you're looking at the needs for performance visualizations. At the other end of the spectrum, as the stuff makes it through to the front end, it needs to go into your environment of choice and not forced into a vendor-specific environment. And the way HighChart accomplishes this is with very strong integrations and the ability to deliver all visuals, for example, through an iframe. Or with strong integration for designers and viewers into HighChart Studio, which is a standalone web-based solution that works in the web, whether it's through an Excel add-in where it also integrates and is extremely capable, whether it integrates with your preferred BI front ends, whether it's Power BI, Qlik Sense, or integrates with SAP Lumira. The whole point and how HighChart has been structured from the beginning is as a platform independent solution that doesn't force you into a specific vendor silo, but works quite nicely in any open environment. So regardless of the planning vendor that you're using, that's only half the battle, because there's also the actuals. And at the same time, what's typically missing is that platform independent way of cutting across the silos and providing the visualizations in a clean, consistent manner that's platform independent and that works in all systems. And what's really required is bringing this stuff together. So it's usually a tug of war about the master data. You have the BI vendors making things worse because they're in silos of their own, trying to draw people into their ecosystem that they see as the center of the universe. And the reality is the master data belongs where the master data belongs, in a unique configuration that is determined by the company's needs, not the software vendors. And then at the same time, the visualization needs cut across all these different silos and needs to be consistent and clean and survive the latest battle of the BI wars and the flavor of the year. And that's where HighChart is a really easy way to position an alternative. So keeping that overall structure in mind, now think of HighChart as that specialized set of reports that are easy to integrate into your environment. You can also be quite friendly in the way you position HighChart, which is that platform independent, specialized tool that connects to a bunch of the different data sources without forcing it to be pulled across from wherever they'd like it to be, that coexists quite happily with their visualization tools of choice, and just provides that extended specialized capability, keeps you out of the battle of the BI platform discussions, and just is all about providing better support for decision makers when they're trying to understand the performance and where to focus their corrective actions if required. Okay, so I think the simplest thing is just to do a quick demo here on how this works. So the first thing I'm going to use is the data source connector, where I select Jedox, would be exactly the same as TM1 or other OLAP data source, and then pick the database, the cube I want to use, and the view that's going to drive and provide the data. Next, I'm going to go up to the pivotizer and just organize the incoming data a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I just want the 12 months for the time dimension, and so here we go into the months, and now I'm going to open up the hierarchy and just select out the 12 months to keep it simple from a report perspective. Here we go, January, March. Now I'll pull over the other months to collect the 12 that I need, and there we go, and the subset is done. I'll close that, and you can see that immediately the months are appearing across the top in the preview. The next thing I'm going to do is look for the budget and actual information, which is what's going to drive this particular report. That's in the versions dimension, and if you hunt through it, you can see there it is. There's the variances for budget and actual. And then finally, the other dimension I need to massage a little bit is the regions, because I want Western European countries for this particular report. So I'm going to go into Europe. I'm going to pick the Western region and pull over these 8 countries from Western Europe. There we go. So the pivotizer now provides the preview of the data that's going to drive the report. That's all looking good. So I will close that and now simply create the report. While you do that, I'm going to make I'm going to select 3 by 3 so that I can have room for all 8 of the regions on one report. I'm going to make a couple of little adjustments here. For example, on the layout, I'm going to change the font size to 8 just to reduce things a little bit. And now when I drop the Jedox connector data source onto it, it drives the report already automatically. And you can see that now if I turn the regions on as the multiplier, there's the 8 regions. Make a couple of other little changes here. Just one sec. And maybe I'll add a column chart for the variance, and make a couple of little tweaks here on the labels, and group them all together so everything's commonly consistently scaled, and pretty well done. A couple little other tweaks here, but as you can see now it's data coming from the Jedox connector into HighChart, and ready for use in your preferred front end. So I hope you enjoyed that short video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me personally and I can direct you on to the right individuals. Jedox is just one of 150 data sources that HighChart can use. HighChart enables these type of specialized reports in a number of different front ends, and integrates quite nicely with Power BI, Qlik, and what have you. And of course, if you're interested in talking about partnership opportunities in your region, I'm actually looking for a few good partners across the globe to help take this to the world. So thank you very much, and have yourselves a great day.